Yeah,
I already have
so
it open. Gotcha.
I'm going to let you actually go into Google Classroom, sign in as a student so you can see EdPuzzle from a student view in a second.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you how I assign a video. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And when I go to EdPuzzle, you have all these different things here. My content is the stuff that you've already made, like you've created. So
That's specific to you, Ron? That my content is specific to you. Okay.
Right. It's videos that I've either taken and pulled in, and it's like my files of videos, or they're videos that I personally created. You know, I can pull. Yeah, they're ones that other people have created.
Other people have shared. And then the curriculum is ones you can pull from that are already there.
Right. These are EdPuzzles curriculum. So you can go to elementary and look at videos by subject. So you can go to math, and then they're all categorized. So if you wanted to do place value, these are videos that talk about place value already. They're already created. And see this little 5 with the little, looks like an exclamation point? This tells you this video has embedded in the video, there are 5 stopping points that are questions that will pop up in the video for the students to answer. You could change those questions. You could delete them. You could add new questions if you choose to. So like, and I can look at the question. So this is the question at this point in the video, which shows the correct place value chart for this number.
You could use them as grades, right? I mean, you could.
Yeah,
right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna just quick sign on. Tell Sandy to sign on.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
There's nobody else on here. This would be a good. This is a golden opportunity. Golly, we got you. Can you sign on with Nober and I for training? I'll just say link is in email, right?
Yeah.
Sent by Asia.
And I started recording it, so I'll also have it recorded.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's, like I said, that's going to curriculum. The other thing is you can go to these, it's popular channels. So you can go to EdPuzzle and you can search for videos. You can also filter by subject. So math, music, science, whatever it may be. And again, you'll have ones that have questions already embedded in. If you don't see this little 6 with the little exclamation point, there's no questions embedded. It's just a straight video. You would have to put your own questions in, and I'll show you how to do that. But you can look at videos from YouTube, Khan Academy, National Geographic, different TED Talks. This I don't know what Veritium or whatever that is, but there's Numberphile, this is all kinds of math videos, and Crash Course is kind of cool. So they do it's all about Jamestown in 12 minutes. Huh. So it's like a crash course on Jamestown.
Yeah.
And they have all different, there's tons of stuff in Crash Course. So kind of cool. Crash Course is kind of neat. But what I'm going to have you do is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, this is a video I made I'm using a piece of a video for us to do. So I'm going to go to it and I'm going to assign it. And I'm going to add a new class and import a class from Google Classroom. So now it's syncing with my Google Classroom. And it takes a second to sync up. So EdPuzzle is one of the classes that I have, and I'm going to click import. So I'm going to say it's going to start today. It's going to have a due date of tomorrow. Due date of tomorrow, and hit save. I'm going to turn on prevent skipping. So that means students can't fast forward the video.
Oh,
They
that's
can't
cool.
skip ahead. They get, yeah.
Okay.
And you can turn on closed captioning if you want. So it'll have the closed captioning. And I'm going to say I want it to post it onto Google Classroom. So I just turned that toggle
stop
on.
for a second, Ron. So this is how
Yeah.
I would assign on my Google Classroom to a kid.
Correct.
And
Yep.
okay, I'm starting to understand. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes a lot of times I will leave the closed captioning off because sometimes they're not necessarily always accurate to what's being said. So, you know, you can see how it is when you look at the video. And then I'm going to click that I want it to go to the EdPuzzle, and I'm going to click assign. All right. So now what you're going to do, I'm going to have you log on to Google Classroom, and this is your class code to get into a Google Classroom called EdPuzzle. You're going to go in as a student.
So what I have trouble doing, I guess, is getting back out of this screen mode.
Here, I'll stop sharing.
IBQ.
Here, I'll put the.
Write that down. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
That's an LBQ for NCU. Okay. All right. Now if you stop sharing, I can
Stop share and allow you to get in there.
What the heck? Did I put the wrong code in? Oh no, there we are. Okay, good. I'm in.
All right. So what you should see is in the stream, it says Ronald Nober posted a new assignment via EdPuzzle. So if you click on that link, you will have a link to EdPuzzle.
Right.
And so you can, it's only like a minute video, so I'm going to let you kind of just go through it as you were a student.
Okay.
So go ahead and just, watch the video, and then there's a question and then just a statement that I put up there.
It's not letting me sign in with my Google account.
Hold on one second.
Maybe just continue to EdPuzzle.
So you should be good now.
I got it now. EdPuzzle.
Yeah, I had to click on you.
So we like to say that we give video superpowers to teachers. Not superpowers like you'll be able to fly or invisibility, but the tools and gadgets that will make you a stronger teacher in the classroom, like Batman for your students.
So you can see it's stopped now. A question popped up. and you're going to answer the question.
Superpowers.
Right.
So in order to get to this level of EdPuzzle Super Teacher, there are different steps that we usually recommend. The first step would be to watch one video in the classroom. Demonstrate your students how to behave in front of the video, how to answer the questions, and when is a good moment to rewatch the video. We believe it's also fair and important that you show the students the analytics you're collecting from the video. Finally, at the end of the class, you can share a letter for their parents. We have seen huge progress from students that watch their videos with their parents. Here is an example of a teacher demonstrating how a video works in EdPuzzle. The students pay attention and ask questions to the teacher. Between 1 and 3 classes is more than enough for the students to understand how to learn from a video.
Again, there's the stop, and you see just a note from me pop up, correct?
Right, right.
Right. So then now you would hit continue, and it's going to continue a little more, and then it's going to,
Second step,
it'll finish.
let the students use their own devices to watch.
Okay. So now I believe you should have a button. Do you have a button that says submit or no?
Show results.
Yeah. So you can show,
We're done.
you can show the results of the questions the question that you answered.
Okay, I watched the whole video and I had one correct response. Perfect.
Right. Right. So I'm going to share my screen with you again so you can see what I'm seeing on my end.
And Sandy's going to be signing on at some point.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So this is what I see on my end. I see you. I see that you've watched 100% of the video. I see that the last time you watched was a few seconds ago. You turned it in at 11:20 or 10:27. I can look at the questions. That yep, you got this one right.
But where does
And there were
that
no
go
more-
after you look at it? Does that information stay there, Ron, or does that
Yep.
so I get my?
Yeah, it stays. So like if I go, here's back where I was assigning videos, all I do is go to my classes and I go to EdPuzzle. Here's the assignment that I just did. And then the data's right there.
Oh, okay, all right.
Now I can, if you got questions wrong, I can go to these 3 dots here and I can reset your progress to have you have to do the whole thing again so that I can be sure you watched it all the way through and got the correct answers. So for me, like I like to do that, especially on certain assignments where, you know, I don't necessarily care that you get it right the first time. I just want you to get it right. And get the information. So if you get it wrong, I'll just reset your progress and give you the ability to go back and do it again and try it out. So that's how you go about creating an EdPuzzle. So now I'm going to go back to my content. So I'm just going to click up here.
Video, correct?
It's just that, yeah, EdPuzzle's just the name.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with a puzzle.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it did, and I'm like, where?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. So like I said, I can go to YouTube and I'm going to search for a video on empathy. And I know I want this video, which is Empathy versus Sympathy by Brene Brown. So I'm going to click on it. And now I have the video and I can go to edit. So now I can, if I don't want the students to watch the whole, 2-minute and 53-second video, I can trim a certain portion. So the video is going to start, after 15 seconds or 10 seconds. Like maybe I don't want this this whole introduction here. And I want it to start, you know, right about here. That's where I'm going to do my video. And then I can do the same thing on the back end where I can get rid of all the credits and everything like that if I don't really feel like they need to watch it. So instead of this video being 2 minutes and 53 seconds, now I've put it to 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Or I could even go shorter if I wanted to. So that's cut. So that's just editing the video, chopping it down. The other thing, if you're using a YouTube video, this doesn't work because YouTube blocks them from doing it, but you could do a voiceover. So you could say, hey, boys and girls, this is Mrs. Pirro, pay attention to this. But again, if the video's from YouTube, you can see YouTube blocks it now. So you can't really go right from YouTube. Questions. This is where you can start to watch your video from where you've cut it.
So what is empathy, and why is it very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy is...
So say now I wanted to ask a question about empathy versus sympathy. Oh, here's Sandy. Hey, Sandy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Andy, it's just Ron and I. I thought it was a golden opportunity to learn this EdPuzzle thing that we might be able to use, you know?
Okay.
Are you on the
What is-
road? Where are you at home?
I'm at home.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What?
So go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know. What is EdPuzzle?
So EdPuzzle is basically you can take videos from YouTube, National Geographic, Khan Academy, all different sources. And what you do is you will assign the video for the students to watch, but along the way, EdPuzzle allows you to, the video pauses and you can embed questions.
Oh,
Or
okay.
you can embed just like a note that says, you know, something like, hey, pay attention, an important point is coming up.
Okay.
And what happens is as the student watches, the video will pause, the question will pop up, and the video won't continue until they answer the question or acknowledge the note or whatever it may be.
Okay.
So what I'm doing right now is I have a video that I'm working on, and it's about empathy versus sympathy. So what I did was I went, and you can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what I did was I went and I cut out the beginning of the video because it's just like an introduction, and I cut out the end of the video by dragging these little bars. So you can edit how much
Okay.
of the video the student watches. So maybe it's a 5-minute video, but you're only focused on 2 minutes of it. You can
Right.
cut it down to those 2 minutes.
Okay.
I was saying voiceover is where you can actually do your voice over it, but YouTube has blocked it for EdPuzzle because of copyright stuff. So if it's National Geographic, you can use it. If it's your own personal video that you've made, you can use the voiceover, but if it's a YouTube video, you can't.
I see.
And then right now we're doing questions. So what I did was I'm starting the video at the beginning. I'm watching it.
So what is empathy, and why
Can you guys hear the audio?
I
Why
can,
is it?
yes.
very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy.
So right here, maybe I want to ask a multiple choice question. So what does empathy drive? And you see the green check. That means this is the correct answer because EdPuzzle will grade it for you if it's multiple choice.
Oh.
So empathy drives connection. And then I want to add another answer for multiple choice.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and now I hit save. So you see there's a little thing here. That means a question is going to pop up for the students. And they would have to answer and then hit continue.
It's very interesting. Teresa Wiseman is a nursing scholar who studied professions, very diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of.
So I might want to go back here.
Very diverse.
And I might want to add a note for the students. Like, hey, there's an important point coming up. I could even link to a website if I want it. Like I wanted to say, hey, go to this website first before you listen to this next piece. If I wanted to add a picture in, I could add a picture in. I've never really done that, but it's, you know, it's something you can do. You can even voice type it. You know, if you wanted to leave a voice note, so it's just a voice note for the students. Hey, listen up. There's going to be a really important point coming up. Get ready. You know, if you wanted to leave a voice note, so it's just a voice note for the students. Hey, listen up. There's going to be a really important point coming up. Get ready. So now I have it visually and I have it audibly as well. So again, I'm going to hit save.
Diverse professions.
And again, here's that note. And you know, if you wanted to leave audibly, or they could just look at it here, and then the student would hit continue.
Diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of another person or recognize their perspective as their truth. Staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy.
So I might want to put an open-ended question here. So now that question's going to pop up and the students are going to have to type that answer in. Open-ended questions, EdPuzzle can't obviously grade for you.
Right.
So you would have to go in and look at them to grade them.
So what are the types of
and
questions?
So you can do multiple choice.
Okay.
You can
And
do
how
a
do you,
note.
where do you see
or
those
you can do
options?
an open-ended.
Where do you see those options?
Oh, so here, watch when I hit play.
Oh, I see.
So you see them right here. This is how you add them in. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how you add those in. When you've finished, you've watched the video, you've added everything you want to do, you just hit finish. And now you can assign it to a class. You can edit it. Once it's been assigned to a class, you can't edit it anymore because kids may be working on it. So what you could do is if you needed to, you could duplicate it if it was going for another class or something like that. They also tell you there are 425 other versions of this video that other people have done and created questions for themselves. So that's what I was saying to Carol. Sometimes you can just go and find ones that are already made. And I'll show you how to do that. But if I go back to content and I go to my content, here is that video with my 3 questions in it, ready to be assigned. And I can create folders. So I could add a new folder and maybe I wanted to call it, empathy work. just have to put something in the description. So I could take this and move it to a folder if I want it. And now I'm kind of organizing.
Are there videos on every single topic imaginable? Science,
pretty close.
Social studies, and
yeah. So you can go to either EdPuzzle, right? Like down here in popular channels, and you can filter by subject.
Okay.
I mean, there's even special education.
I was thinking about for math, Sandy, that this might be really nice because they even have like the Khan Academy has a lot of math ones in it too.
Yep. And the thing is, you know, especially like it's a great way to differentiate, because if you have somebody who really needs some help, you can go back, you know, create a video or have a video and assign it just to that student in Google Classroom.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, you can go by that. The other thing you can go to is curriculum and go to elementary school and then view by subject. And then it breaks it down. You know, again, you're going to have to look at the video to see, does it fit? Do the questions work for you? So, you know, you still have to do some work, but, you know, and this is all just fractions and, you know, addition.
Very cool.
Yeah. So if I went here, I can see, hey, this person already has 3 questions in, right? So I can go and look, what is their first question? 6 bunnies are on the grass, some more hopped over. There were 10 bunnies on the grass. How many bunnies hopped over to the first 6? Right. So I can see what
read that question to them? Will it read it out loud?
It does not. No. But again, you could,
use your voice.
You would have to do that as a note. Yeah, you would have to do that as a note. That it wouldn't necessarily read the question to them. If the student wasn't sure, they could go and hit rewatch, and it starts from before that question popped up. It takes them back and says, hey, all right, rewatch this section again to get your information, to see if you can answer the question. You can, you know,
sorry, I was shushing my dog.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Down, boy.
And
down.
then there are more questions here, you know, that they have. Again, I can go to rewatch.
4.
If you want to add some more questions yourself in, you can go to edit. And now I have their 3 questions, but if maybe before their question,
bunnies hopped over to the first 6.
Maybe, he just actually read the question there. But maybe what I want to do is I want to put a note in and I could read the question to them, right? You know, so I could say 6 bunnies are on the grass, some more bunnies hop over, then there were 10 bunnies on the grass. How many bunnies hopped over to the first 6? And now save it. It's going to put that just before that question.
Okay.
And you can move, you know, I can move the dots around.
The dots.
Right.
So how many bunnies hopped over to the first 6?
So here's my note, you know, so I could say 6 bunnies are on the grass, some more bunnies hop over, then there were 10 bunnies on the grass. How many bunnies hopped over to the first 6? And they would just hit continue.
Well, in this problem.
And then the question pops up. So, you know, there are workarounds to putting your voice in if you need it. And again, then I would just hit finish. And then I could assign it from here. Or like I said, I could go back and it's now in my content right here.
Okay. Will you click on the, I noticed when you had the video open, On the left-hand margin was a list of all their questions.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you can see the questions and where they pop in at 14 seconds, at 17 seconds, at 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And then you can also get rid of that if you want, just by the arrows. Yep. And this is what I was showing Carol. You know, you had, like I said, the EdPuzzle. You could filter by subject, or you could just go to YouTube and search out, you know, fractions. Or you can go to Khan Academy and search out different things. Or, like I said, National Geographic has videos. You know, here's like Hawaii's ecosystem. There are TED Talks. Numberphile is all about math, you know, all different math things. And then this is kind of cool. I was saying it's called Crash Course. And it's like crash courses, very short courses on, like, here's 11 minutes, the Renaissance. So it's everything you need to know about the Renaissance, or astronomy, or, you know, what is engineering, and, you know, so all kinds of different things.
I think that's a great way to get the content in for science and social studies. I mean,
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, you might have to look at it a little bit to see if it's, you know, what grade level it's for. But, you know, they're pretty good. They're pretty good videos typically.
Wait, so you may have said this, but so are you limited to those popular channels, or can you find something outside of those listed on the left?
So, well, these are the ones that you can do right through EdPuzzle. If you wanted to go out somewhere else, you could find them. You would just bring in by your. So if I would go to create a video, I could bring in. Oh no, not that. I'm sorry. I would have to upload a video that I downloaded from somewhere, or something that I created myself, maybe with WeVideo or something like that. You could upload your own video and do stuff with it. You can also, there is an extension, an EdPuzzle extension that you can add onto your Google. And if you're watching a YouTube video, you'll see this little thing pops up and it says edit with EdPuzzle. So any YouTube video, I can just click this and it's going to take me right into, you know, so like this one. If I want to use this, why is mindfulness a superpower? I click edit with EdPuzzle. It takes me right into EdPuzzle, back into my editing section.
Okay.
And that's straight from YouTube.
Pardon me.
No, you're good. And to get that EdPuzzle thing, you would just go to the Chrome Web Store, and, you know, just search EdPuzzle, and then it's right here, and you just add it to Chrome.
Do we have to do that on the?
Yeah, you would have to do that because it's not something that's just automatically there.
Okay.
Yeah, but, you know, it's great because if you're just searching on YouTube, like I said, then you can click right from that button and takes you right into EdPuzzle. And now that video is, if I go to my content again, there's that video all back in my content. And then, like I said, assigning it, and I'm just going to assign this empathy one just again, so you can see how to do that. I click assign. I click on the Google Classroom that I want. I have a Google Classroom EdPuzzle already assigned, or a Google Classroom EdPuzzle one already set up. I click that I want it, you know, maybe I don't want it to pop up today. Maybe I want it to pop up on September 3rd. That's when I'm going to assign it. And I'm going to have it due on the 5th. You always have to hit save, and I always forget to hit save. So now it's going to pop up in Google Classroom on September 3rd. It's going to be due September 5th. I'm preventing students from skipping
closed
ahead.
captions.
Right. You can turn on closed captions. I was saying to Carol, sometimes they're not perfect. So sometimes I've had it, it may have been the person saying ask, but ass pops up as the as the closed caption. So you just you would have to watch it. Yeah. And then you can tell it, hey, post it onto Google Classroom for me, and then click assign. And now it's telling me, hey, Carol's in my classroom. This has been assigned to her. She hasn't watched any of it yet, which clearly she hasn't because it's not showing up in Google Classroom for her until September 3rd. And if I look at the questions, here are the questions that are in the video. It's letting me know, hey, she hasn't answered any of them yet, which of course she wouldn't. And then if you have a student who may have gotten the answers wrong, you can come here and reset them. So it'll just reset all their questions again, and you can let them watch the video and answer the questions again. So that they can,
Ron, after they've watched it,
correct.
And you can see there that they've watched it. You can also check to see if they got the question correct or not. That'll show up.
Yep. So here, I'll show you. Carol already did this assignment. So it tells me she watched 100% of the video. She got 100 on the quiz or the questions that went with it. She watched it 25 minutes ago. She turned it in on time. And then I can go to the questions and it tells me she clicked the correct one. She got 1 out of 1 right.
Oh, okay.
But if, like I said, if she got them wrong, if there were like 3 questions and she got them wrong, I can click here and say reset her progress. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to reset her progress? Everything else will be erased. And now it's telling me she didn't watch it. She didn't turn it in. She didn't answer any of the questions yet.
Okay.
Because I reset everything for her.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
Because I didn't really use Google Classroom. I didn't have a Chromebook.
Right.
Obviously, I wasn't assigning anything in Google Classroom. But this year, I should have a Chromebook, and I should be able to, with Carol, do things like this. So how are the kids notified that they have a video to watch when they log in?
So as soon as they go to their class, you see right here, it says, I posted a new assignment.
Okay.
On EdPuzzle. So, and whatever the newest thing is pops up at the top of this stream.
Okay.
Now, you can decide, like, to me, the stream gets really crazy as the year goes on because there's so many things there.
Yeah, how do you clean that up, Ron?
So what you can do is you can set under settings, you can tell it that on the stream that where it says classwork on the stream, you can say that it doesn't show any of the classwork on the stream, right? So the only place then the student would be able to get it, so you can see there's nothing on my stream now. The only place they would be able to get it would be here.
Classwork.
Right, under classwork. And what I like with classwork is in the assignment, I can give it a topic. So maybe we're doing a whole thing on empathy. Okay. And this is going to be.
You can drag that right into it, right?
Right. You can drag it in, but I'm going to give this a separate topic. So this is going to be using EdPuzzle. So now what you'll see in my classwork, there are topics listed here. So I could have under empathy, it's just going to show me anything that I put under the empathy topic.
Okay.
So
I have a question,
it's just like folders almost. Yeah.
I have a question. So I didn't use a lot of videos when I did the remote in the spring, but I know a lot of other teachers did. And one of the criticisms that I hear from the parents is that their kids, especially special needs kids, aren't going to like do well with watching the video on their own, kind of thing.
Correct.
So here's my idea. I'm almost, I guess you could call it, they're not calling it, but pretty much co-teaching with Sandy in September. And
Right.
so, but Michelle could maybe be signed on at the same time that Geo is doing his EdPuzzle video so that she knows that he's attentive in doing it.
Sure.
You could
Yeah.
have like we're doing right now, like we're kind of together. Michelle, this would be a good way to reinforce for Michelle, I think, Sandy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The other thing, I mean, the other thing I like about EdPuzzle is, the recommendation that I've always used is 1 to 1.5 minute video per grade level, right? So a third grader should be watching maybe a 3 to 4 minute video.
Okay.
More than that, they just drift off after.
Right?
Yeah.
You could truly assign an 8-minute video in EdPuzzle because you're breaking it up with having them stop, answer a question, stop. And you could even put after 4 minutes, right? You could say, put one of the notes in that says, take a 2-minute walk around the room.
Oh, that
Or-
would be cool.
Right? Like, or stand up and do 3 jumping jacks and then sit back down and watch the rest of the video. So, hey, so you can, with those notes, you can add little things in there to break up a long video or,
That's
hey, take a break from the video. Why don't you draw a picture? Just something to like do
Yeah.
something else at that point.
Yeah.
And then theoretically, I mean, you could say, okay, that's today's assignment is completed. Tomorrow you'll finish watching it. And then will
Yeah.
it take them back to the same, to where,
Yeah.
to resume at that same place tomorrow if it's
Yep.
too lengthy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, EdPuzzle, it's pretty good. There's a lot of cool stuff with EdPuzzle. And again, Carol, it's just like Nearpod, like get in, play with it. Even if you and Sandy like want to test out where, Carol, you create a test class, or since Sandy hasn't really used Classroom, let Sandy create a test class. Carol joins it as a student. Sandy assigns an EdPuzzle to her. Carol does it just so you guys get to see how it works. And Carol, you could do the same. Create a fake classroom, a test classroom, have Sandy join as a student, assign her an EdPuzzle. You could go back and forth just so you get a clear picture of how it works and what it looks like on both ends. Because I always think that's important, is seeing what it looks like from your end, but also getting a view of what it looks like from the student's perspective. And doing it that way kind of allows you to do so.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
This is sort of unrelated, and I know you're recording, so maybe I should wait till after the session. But like because we're doing remote and in person, should we use the same Google Classroom for both of those?
I guess it
Or should we
depends
do a
on.
Piro remote and a Piro in class?
Yeah, I mean, you could, because
Or
you may
Piro,
wind
right?
up assigning different things, to someone who's remote, and that may be an easier way to do that.
I have to think about that.
Yeah.
Or perhaps by our groups.
That's
How
how
we
we
have
have
the
should have our own
students'
class,
groups.
or each group should have their
Right.
own
Each group gets their own classroom. You could do that. The other thing to keep in mind, in like right now, this doesn't, it doesn't work as easily right now, but because Carol's the only person in the classroom. But if I'm going to create an assignment, I get to choose who I assign it to. Like right now, Carol's the only one, so it's only one person. But if there were 5 people in here, I could click 2 of those people are going to get this assignment, not everybody.
And it won't even show up on anybody else's, right?
Nope.
Okay.
It'll show, you'll have it on your end,
Right.
but the students won't see, they won't know. So you could have, say, a math assignment that 2 students are going to need really extra help. 2 students are going to get it right away, and then 2 students are going to get it right away and be ready to move on. You could assign them 3 different assignments, but all in really the same lesson. You know what I mean?
Right, based on the level of support. So,
exactly.
Like for a student who's struggling with math, Carol, I envision that we could put in some of the extra comments or things to like coach them, remind them of the process before they start.
Right.
Did you remember to
or
Exactly.
those 3.5 students that we're worried about, we can kind of supplement with some of this stuff, you know what I mean, to kind of give them extra,
Yeah.
kids that aren't quite ready to move on to the next level. I see lots of possibilities. It's just a lot of, I guess, time in my head. I'm thinking.
Well, and again, like you guys, like I had said with Nearpod, if you're trying it out and you have a question, email me.
Okay.
Like I said, I won't be in school, but I can Zoom with you. I can do whatever it may be to.
Oh, you're
to
remote?
work with you. Yeah, I'm doing everything. I'm teaching technology strictly remote. Like.
Okay.
So.
Which I think will be very effective, Ron. I think everybody could pretty much do it.
I've changed, and have a lot of different ideas. I mean, obviously, no matter what, we wouldn't be able to do hands-on projects anyway.
Right.
So everything I was doing was going to have to be really computer-based. So it just works, know.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? I see down at the bottom right where it says rubric, add rubric.
Yeah, so once you create an assignment, so let's see, it is not, oh, there it is. So then I click rubric and you can create a rubric. So this is new. It came out at the end of last year. So you're just you're creating a rubric in here, and you can add different criteria, points value, describe what it's going to be. And then you just save it.
The yard people are starting. They get so loud. And the student then sees that rubric.
Correct.
As they're working.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I have to play around a little more with the rubric part. Like I said, I didn't use it yet. So I'm still getting familiar with it. I'm not sure if it pops up as a spreadsheet or how it pops up, but yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
EdPuzzle. So could I find it? I mean, I can download this through Chrome at my house on my laptop just to play with it, right?
Yeah. So you, in the chat, I put a link to the EdPuzzle. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Because we have a membership to EdPuzzle, right?
Yeah, we have a membership to EdPuzzle as a school district. So in the video chat, I put a link that I can.
I'd have to use the school login then It's
You
not.
have to, correct. You have to use your school email address to log into Google.
Okay.
I can email it to you.
Okay.
Is it just Ray S?
Yes.
Your school email? Okay. And I'll email it to you too, Carol. Or did
Okay.
you already click on it?
I'm already clicked on it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you were good. All right. So,
So you could
any other
actually
questions?
essentially, Ron, we could essentially start setting up files of videos that we're going to use.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And once you do that, then you're done. Then you're set.
You have them, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta
I think
fix
it's a lot like I'm trying to figure out how it's different than the one we saw yesterday. It's similar in a lot of ways, right?
It's similar in ways, but the other one yesterday, that feature of being able to do the videos in Nearpod is new. So like they took what EdPuzzle was doing and brought it to Nearpod a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think I kind of like Nearpod better. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to just try it out and see.
All right.
The other thing is like this, the one good thing is with EdPuzzle, like just like that empathy video I showed you, there were 452 other of that video already created. So you don't have to go and reinvent the wheel necessarily. You could watch one of those and realize like, oh, this does everything I need.
Right.
That's
So-
best.
Right.
Don't want to no time to reinvent wheels this year.
Right. No,
Right.
we're
Right.
just gonna